coming up with what I'm gonna, work on. I need to get brake lines put on this truck, and in order to run the brake lines and get the brake lines figured out from the booster here, I really need to have these inner fenders in the truck. Also, when I run the wiring, when I get the wiring out of the garage from the car to place in here, it's going to run on some of the inner fenders, so I need the inner fenders to be in here. I have to clearance for this brake booster. I have to do some clearancing for the strut towers for the Crown Vic front end, and I have to do some clearancing on a passenger side for the AC fan, the heater and AC fan box and such. So I thought that maybe what I'll do is I'll get some cardboard, make some templates, get those fenders out here, get some clearancing done on those inner fenders, and see if I can get the inner fenders in here, see how they're gonna fit, and then that way they're mocked up, and then I can get going on some of the other big stuff, like the brake lines. I really want to get the brake lines in so the brakes are done. I got the fuel lines, so the fuel lines and the fuel tank and all that's done. I really want to get the brake lines finished up. I was gonna use the brake lines out of the car, and I decided not to. I started to straighten those lines up, and I was gonna I was gonna get them as straight as I could, and I wasn't having any trouble getting them straight. But I started thinking that every time you bend that line, it weakens it. So the line was bent originally and just weakened a little bit. Now if I straighten that out, I weaken it a little more. And if I gotta bend it again in close to that same spot, then I'm gonna weaken it up even more than that. And that's just not a place that I wanna take that chance. So I've decided that I'm just gonna get new lines. I'm gonna run new lines down the frame rails, and then cross the rear end, and just put in new line and bend up my own line. And I'll have peace of mind with that. I won't be concerned about whether or not I weakened the brake lines too much, and so that's kind of off topic. I'm doing inner fenders, but the reason that I'm doing the inner fenders is this is the brake booster, and then these are the brake lines out of the car, and it went to I believe it is the anti-lock brake system. This is a big old box thing. I'm not going to use that. At any rate, where those are going to bend and come down, I don't want to be cutting the inner fenders around something that I put in there, right? If I can get the inner fenders in, then I can bend the brake lines around those fenders anyway, I'm gonna get some cardboard, and I'm gonna start cutting some templates and get one of those fenders out here, and I'll trim up a fender, and then we'll test fit it and see how it goes. Try to get those fenders clearanced out and mocked in. Well, I stuck these brake lines on here, and now I gotta get them off. So I get these off, and I got some cardboard. Cutting some templates. The first one I'm going to do is I'll cut around this brake booster, get it sorted out. I like these lines. I like the fact that they're braided, but not gonna be using them. Not gonna be using them after all. Okay, so I got this pattern drawn here. So basically I went from this edge down here, measured from this point right here. It's one of the places that it hooks up, and you can see where it was touching the firewall. So I came down to that point and come out, and then it dives, takes a dive down, and then cuts back there. So that is that. That's this little section. So I'll cut this out and then test fit it and see how the cardboard fits. And I'll try to shape it onto the fender, and I'll show you that when I get to that point. Alright, so I got this thing back up in here, and as you can see, we've got some work to do. Like in a big way. I mean, that's it right there. I guess I didn't remember this thing comes up high, but it does. So I gotta come up with a way to get that to, oh, it's gonna stay there. Okay. So I'm hitting right here. So kind of what it looks like to me is I'm hitting that strut tower bracket down there where it bolts to the frame, and it's not allowing it to like set down and come out like this. So I don't think that this is a clearance issue yet. I want to get that cut. So I got underneath there, I marked it. So I'm going to shimmy this thing back out. I'll cut what I need to cut down there, put it back in here and see how this looks then. I'm also thinking I might have a little bit of clearance issues with the, well, not a might, I know for a fact. See it? The radiator. So we're gonna wind up needing to cut some of this out down here. So, but I won't know until I make sure we get down here fitting correctly and that fitting correctly. So we're sitting in there, you know, lined up with all the bolts and such. So let me get that out and we'll cut it. Okay. Amazing how easy something comes out, huh? It didn't go in that easy. Okay. Back after second round. Let's see. See how this looks. Oh wow. Okay. Looks a lot better. Let's see if I have something that'll hold that up. Jam that in there. Okay. Okay. The bolt lined up here. Here. I'm just not quite lined up along that front edge. So, but that helped out the radiator area. I'm going to show you this. Get this clamp off. That's the hole for the radiator, and it's clearanced out into this area, and you can see right here where I clearanced this for the radiator. So if the radiator is missing, you know, here, then I know that I'm good right there. So where I'm sitting right now, we're in good shape. However, right here, you can see that I've got to come up a little bit more, which will bring this edge up a little bit, and so we might still. So I'm gonna get a bolt here real quick and get a bolt on that and see how it looks. Okay, I got a bolt in there. So I just got a bolt in the hole right here, and as you can see, hopefully you can see, I'm hitting this now, and it still needs to come up a little bit. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to go ahead and take some of that out, probably maybe right here from this thing, or I'll just maybe go along that. Let me grab them. There, I got this Sharpie right here. Basically, right now I'm just making a decision, you know. I'm just gonna do, it looks pretty good, other than right over there, you can see I clearanced that too much. I didn't need to get that much cut out of it. Oh well, it's part of the life, I guess. So right here, I'm just gonna take this thing and I'm gonna mark along this edge to where I know the radiator is gonna be, and I'm gonna cut that out. And then that way I know, you know, I've got plenty of room right there for the radiator. I can grab the radiator and put it in there, but I don't have all the bolts in this thing, and I don't know that I want to get all the bolts. I probably should get a couple, but I got to pull it out anyway. I want to clean up those edges and stuff. Back in. Third time. What is it they say about the third time? I'm gonna grab a couple bolts. BB blaster on that thing. Looks pretty good. It's got a couple bolts in it. Just got one in the front, one. You know, when them things aren't in there for a length of time, you forget how high they are. I mean, they're up there. It's a good clearance though. I got good clearance around the motor. I mean, it looks nice. If the other one goes in and looks that good, I'll be pretty happy with it. I clearanced this out, you know, once that radiator's in there, then that hole's not gonna be huge. So now I'm gonna dig out the other inner fender. I did say that I was gonna try to take some time to get this side closer, and we'll see whether or not I was successful or not. Oh, about getting that thing in there. Eek, I might have to pull the tire off. Let me try to make that real quick. close, but yet so far away. Man. Oh, that's not gonna happen right here like this. I think I'm gonna have to pull that tire off. Alright, I got the tire off, as you can see. And now, should get in here. A little easier. Not a lot easier. A little easier. Oh well, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like I got enough cut out. Okay, well I got this thing. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Here we go. Oh man, how do we do? Oh, I need to get me a bolt, don't I? So I can. Okay. I think I'm there. I think I got it now. I think I'm where I like it. I'm gonna be anyway. So I got a little bit more to cut out. So you can see it right here. It's hitting that bolt right there. So I'll mark that. Pull this thing back out. So this should be our final test fit. It should all fit nicely. Man, it sure. You see anything? See any spots where we're hitting and causing trouble? That's not hitting right there. It looks pretty close. I massaged the back of this. I didn't want to cut that out because I didn't want that to be exposed for tire throwing rocks or something. So I just massaged that edge. I got one spot down there. I'll have to play with it. There's that return fuel line down there. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Alright. The fuel line going back, it's sitting on it right now. So I don't like that. We'll come up just a little bit right here. We look good around this. I'm just gonna mark that real quick and then I'll pull this back out. Clearance that and then I'll smooth those edges out. Okay, there it is. Got a couple of bolts in it, one on the fender here and then one up in the front. Looks pretty good. Got it, that's clearance. I just did exactly the same as what I had on that side for the radiator. We got good clearance on the motor. That's not too shabby. Looks good. I'm not mad at that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab that radiator. I'm going to drop that radiator down in there and make sure that I'm sitting real nice with the radiator and make sure it's fitting in there. Okay, you're going to find out with me whether or not we got this thing going to fit or not. Yeah, shoot. Can't be upset with that. That's gonna come back. Not bolted in, obviously. But I had plenty. I didn't need to clearance it that much. Oh well. Looks pretty good. All I need to do now is just pull them out, clean them up, throw some paint on them. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. Well, that's gonna wrap things up for me for today. It looks pretty good. I can't tell you just how exciting that is for me. I don't know why. It's like the inner fender is a big deal, but I mean they look good in there, and now I can get wiring, lay wiring across there. I can get the radiator overflow figured out and mocked up, the power steering reservoir mocked up and mounted. I can figure out my air cleaner, you know how that's gonna route. So this is exciting. So any rate, that wraps this one up, and I just appreciate you guys watching these videos. If you like this one, give it a like. Make sure you hit the like button if you like it. Why not, right? It helps me out. And then subscribe, comment. What do you think? How do you think this project's going? And we'll talk about it. You got something else? Let's hear it. So, other than that, what to look forward to? So I picked up some hardware for the Outcast custom, their lowering bracket they sell a lowering bracket for the Crown Vic, and I got those, and I got some hardware to go with it. So, and that bracket goes down here. Hopefully you can see. So this is just kind of just kind of show you what. So that bracket goes on there, and then that strut lowers down that 1.5 inches. So I got these bolts for it, and then they'll tap into that aluminum, and then there's smaller bolts that go into the smaller holes that you saw there. And so that's something that I'm going to be doing real recent. Put out a short video that I talked about it. Mentioned 2 weeks I was going to put that video out. And I'm not sure if it's going to be another week, or it might be one more, possibly one more. But I am going to get that video out, and I am going to I want to get specific about the hardware. I want to be able to say, you know, this is the length, this is the size, this is the thread count, because that lowering bracket is not a kit or anything like that. And so there's nothing that comes with just four laser cut brackets, however they cut them, in a box, and that's what you get. I would think that those guys would make a kit, you know, where the hardware is supplied, and you know, possibly some instruction on what size tap to use and all that stuff, but they don't. So, and I haven't found anybody that's being real specific about the hardware and the tap and that type of stuff. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to get real specific with that video. So look for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next week, have a blessed week.